Before watching the video, don't forget to subscribe the channel and enable bell notification to never miss an update from us.
Hello everyone, good morning all of you. This is Ashima and you're watching us on Entri channel. This is a daily current affairs video in which we talk about daily news events and the happenings depending on examination are filtered over here. So this video is basically for all the examination students or aspirants, and this video will be basically in two parts. The first part being the descriptive part in which we talk about the news events in a bit of detail and take all the important pointers alongside. And for those, the second part, it is one-liners in which we talk about news events in a factual manner, that is only direct to direct points. So depending on news events, the events have been classified in descriptive and one-liners. If any of you faces any query in any of the event, any news event is not clear, or there's some doubt regarding it, or one-liner one you need a bit of description, you can point it out in the comment section, or you can ask it, your queries in the comment section, and I'll answer it there and then. Right? So I'll be beginning with the session now, and I hope you enjoy the session. The first news event is academic freedom in India. So there is an academic freedom uh, index sort of thing which was released recently, and according to that, as per the perspective of India, the importance of new education policy was also highlighted. So this report was published by Global Public Policy Institute, and the score of India in that was 0.352. Now, the score scales from 0 to 1, so India was closer to the negative part or the less developed part. The top performers were Uruguay and Portugal, which had approximately 0.93 something pointer. So over here we have talked about the score of India, the top performers. The scale ranges from 0 to 1, just like we have hunger index. And the solution of now for India, what was the issue, and as per the report, and what is the solution that has been recommended. Now the problem was that there is a lot of nepotism, there's a lot of politics involvement, there's a lot of partiality and various other factors, lack of resources and stuff. And the solution can be highlighted to the part that the new education policy of India by Ministry of Education might turn out as a turning point for India, because over here we have certain pointers which might help develop India on a or education of India on a higher scale. Therefore, over here we have highlighted this part because now new education policy, although already a huge change, therefore a very important thing for examination. But apart from that, now seeing that this report also highlighted the importance of new education policy, you need to have a look at this as well. So all the important pointers, I guess all of you might have made this pointers alongside when the policy had come. So go through that policy and keep those pointers in mind, because those policies are the primary reason or primary point of question for all of us, right? And as well as the old name of Ministry of Education, that is Ministry of HRD or Ministry of Human Resource Development. Union Minister, again important one. These are a few static portions that can be asked, or the portfolio or profile of these ministers can be asked, right? Moving ahead, a snubbing unit from Canada has been called for controlling the Assam Fire. Here now again, this is important. Where is this Fire ongoing? That is in Assam. Why it is so much in news is because it erupted on May 27, 2020, and since then it has been burning. There have been various efforts which have been put together for silencing it out or blowing it out, but none of them has actually given the results. So for 5 months now, the fires in this place are still burning, which is why it is important for you to know about this. Right now, if we talk about whose oil fields are there in this, so the oil fields are basically of Oil India Limited, OIL. So Oil India Limited has its oil fields in this place, and this new technique is going to be introduced. Now they have already tried slowing or lowering down the gas injection points which were there, but still it has not been given much of the results. So it has not given much of the results. Now, We'll talk about this on the other perspective also. But first of all, what a snubbing unit can do. So, when a snubbing unit is brought into the picture, they can do anything or they can take any step to bring that fire down. So, there are drills in the earth's surface. They can do everything that a rig can do, right? Now, the concerns have been raised on NGT, National Green Tribunal as well. For that, we have a Katake panel. Now, this is important panel for all of us because of the Bagjan fire. This Katake panel was set up by National Green Tribunal, which is headed by BP Katake. That is why it is known as Katake panel. Now, BP Katake is a retired Guwahati High Court judge, and he has been given the charge of putting this fire out and checking out what went wrong. So this Katake panel is the one which has brought this snubbing unit from Canada to put this fire off, and all the discussions over it have been put forward by this panel itself. So all the legal actions are going to be presented by this panel. The results have been released. So according to the findings, first of all, there are going to be certain tests that are going to be conducted. Now, tests regarding what? Regarding the drilling of and testing of hydrocarbons. Hydrocarbons drilling and testing is going to be conducted, as well as there have been certain recommendations for the legal action. What are the violations? First of all, Water Prevention Control of Pollution Act 1974. According to that, there have been certain violations. Then certain violations under Hazardous Waste Management and Handling Issues 1989. Hazardous and Other Waste Management and Transboundary Movement Rules 2016. These are the three major regulations which they have found out that they have broken in the coming time. Now, apart from that, they have also brought down that the now noise pollution rules which are there of 2020, it has recommended that OIL needs to bring that also down. OIL needs to bring down the noise levels as per the 2020 amendment which has taken place. Right now, concerns have been raised by Wildlife Institute of India also, because it has stated. Now, what has Wildlife Institute of India stated? Now, according to Wildlife Institute of India, there are certain carcinogenic polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons which are actually harming the environment and the surroundings, and that have been erupted because of the fire. This ongoing fire of 5 months has brought these polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, and this is going to affect the environment around it, and that is what is going to lead to contamination of groundwater as well. So here we have certain important pointers, like when were these three acts, or which act is of which time. Then where is Bagjan oil well, which has been on fire since 5 months. Then who is BP Katake, and Katake panel was set up by whom? Yeah, which panel was set up by the National Green Tribunal to control the Bagjan oil wells? That is Katake panel, right? So you need to have certain one-liner information on that as well. Next is Haryana State Employment of Local Candidates Bill 2020. Now, this bill had been introduced at the time of COVID, where certain reservation has been made for locals. Now, in this bill, the new thing is that Assembly has also passed this bill. Assembly has passed this bill. That means now it is going to become an act, and soon it is going to be implemented as well. So Haryana Assembly has passed it. What is there in this bill is there is 75% reservation for the local candidates for any post which offers a salary of 50,000 or less per month. A monthly salary of any position which offers 50,000 or less, those positions will have 75% reservation for the local candidates. And this applies to all the companies, societies, trusts, limited liability partnership firms across the state. That is, everywhere this is applicable. Now, there have been certain pointers on how it is violating certain articles of freedom of movement, and be it freedom of movement or be it freedom of equality or the thing about equality. There have been certain pointers, but this is not the only state has done it, because Maharashtra government has also done that. Then such steps have been taken by Madhya Pradesh also. So there are certain steps which are being taken, being opposed, but still, since it has been passed, it is going to come into the force soon. First India Nordic Baltic Conclave took place recently. So I'll be telling you about this Nordic Baltic Conclave. This is for the first time that with Baltic region also we have done something. Now, who was a representative of India? It was External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar. And the focus was basically on artificial intelligence, supply chain logistics, and blockchain-led transformation. So, as India is already working on those pointers, we are trying to bring in more people to join us in this whole perspective. Right now, if we talk further about this, the involved countries have been mentioned over here, those being Estonia, Denmark, Finland, Latvia, Iceland, Norway, Lithuania, sorry, and Sweden. These are the 8 countries, Nordic Baltic 8 countries. In these, there are 3 countries which are Baltic region and are important. So if we talk about the Baltic region, we have Estonia, and we have Latvia, and we have Lithuania. These 3 countries are the Baltic region, and the others are of Nordic region. Now, why are these Baltic countries important? What is important about these 3 countries? That is also important. Now, if we begin with Estonia, Estonia is the house of NATO cyber security. Now, NATO cybersecurity's house is Estonia. Therefore, it is going to help India in building the cybersecurity of the region. Then we have Latvia. For Latvia, what we have is there is amber route over here, or amber way over here, and this is a very old way. This is not a new way, but this provides a connectivity to the European region, right? And this is a very old trade route, and this can be revived if relations with Latvia are improved. For Lithuania, if we go for Lithuania, is a house of laser technology. House of laser technology means that this is the place where laser technology is at its best. So development of laser technology can take place on a better scale if Lithuania and India are in close contacts. Then we have the Nordic countries, which being Denmark, Norway, Sweden, Finland, Iceland. These are the countries which are Nordic countries. Now, Nordic countries, we have already had, earlier summit was also held in 2018 with Nordic countries separately, and there has also been a Nordic commission or committee sort of thing which has been formed in 1952. Since then, we have been working together to improving the relations. But these Baltic countries are for the first time. Next is production linked incentive or PLI scheme, which is going to be implemented. Now, what is the new thing about this is that 10 new sectors have been added to this scheme to bring in better results, out of which certain have already been decided, or you can say certain have already been listed, them being laser, textiles, battery, food processing. These are the segments which have already been developed or announced, and the rest are soon to be announced. So we have approximately 4 segments which have been announced, that is food processing, leather, textiles, battery manufacturing. And the rest 6 are going to be announced soon. And these sectors have been suggested by Niti Ayog. Niti Ayog has suggested the 10 new sectors so that the range of the scheme can be improved. When was the scheme launched? PLI scheme was launched in March 2020 to improve the domestic manufacturing so that our imports reduce and we are self-sufficient on those matters. So for that, for improving the domestic manufacturing, this whole prospect was there. So the aim was to incentivize, to provide incentives to the companies on incremental salaries from products manufactured in the domestic units, because we want the domestic production to increase. Now, why was the scheme needed is because, first of all, our bills are increasing. The difference of import export is the one which drains the country's economy in a certain way. So if we're self-dependent, we can move on improving the export sector rather than being dependent on other countries. right? Apart from that, other global companies can invest in India, seeing that India is developing on its own. So these were the reasons. Now, currently, what is the incentive scheme as we're talking about? The incentives are 4 to 6% as of now. So for electronic companies, that being mobile manufacturing companies or any other electronic company, that has incentive of 4 to 6%, right? Now we'll be moving to the next news event. UAE has relaxed Islamic laws. UAE had one of the stricter laws on various perspectives. Now, what relaxation has been done? First of all, cohabitation of unmarried couples, as we can say, live-in relationships. They have been allowed earlier, since because of Islamic laws being implemented strictly in the area, this was not, this was not there, or this was not allowed. Now it has been allowed. Alcohol restrictions have been loosened, because earlier when someone had to drink alcohol or liquor at home, they had to get a license for that. So now they don't have to get the license for drinking alcohol at home. Then we have criminalization of honor killings. Those have also been reduced to a certain effect or loosened on a certain aspect, right? Now, apart from that, okay, these are the three major things that have been liberalized as of now. Apart from that, they supported a very old culture or custom in which male can evade prosecution, but now that has also been relaxed on a certain perspective. UAE is one of those countries which has more expatriates, that is, people who are not natives. So, expatriates are more in UAE compared to the citizens. That is, out of every 10 group, 9 are expatriates, that is, people of other countries living for various reasons, maybe job purpose or whatever the reason, and 1 is a citizen. So approximately, if we take the overall range, the 20% of UAE citizenship, whereas the other population, the 80%, is the expatriates. Now, Article 8 says that UAE citizenship cannot be gained before 30 years of residence in that area, and Arabic should be known, and they should not have done any crime. So that's a very strict law which is there, but there are certain reforms that they are doing so that it becomes easier. UAE has also been in news recently because of Abraham Accord, which was mediated by United States of America, but this was basically related to Israel, as they are ready to recognize Israel as a separate country. Right? That is why also it was in news. Now we'll be moving to a few one-liners. Shri Yashwardhan K. Sinha has been appointed as the new Chief Information Commissioner of India, as we can say. And this appointment is very important from your examination perspective, as you can expect a direct question from this segment. Right now, apart from that, what else do we have regarding it? First of all, under which act do we have the responsibility? So there is an act called Information Act 2005. Information Act 2005, which states about the rules of Chief Election Commissioner of India. Now, moving ahead, the next news event which is there is Moustache, is a book which is written by a Malayalam writer S. Harish. He has got JCB Prize for Literature for this book Moustache. This is a Malayalam book, has been translated into English, and now it has been awarded the JCB prize. So you must know what is the name of the book. The question can be asked that who is the winner of JCB prize for literature. They can ask you who is the writer of the book Moustache, or what is the name of the book that has won JCB prize for literature. Either ways. Then FASTags have been made mandatory from 2021 1st of January for all four-wheelers. So all four-wheelers will now have to have this FASTag, which is basically electronic form of paying off toll taxes, right? Moving ahead, Joe Biden has won the US elections 2020, and apart from that, there is another news which we will be covering in the next one-liner. Indian Army Chief Manoj Mukund Narwane is very much in news because he has been conferred with the honorary rank of General of Nepal Army. This rank is given Since 1950, this rank is being given, and this is a very honorary rank. The first time it was given to Cariappa, General Cariappa, and now it has been given to Chief Manoj Mukund Narwane, and this rank is given by the president of the country. So recently the Nepali army chief was given the title by the Indian president, and now Manoj Mukund Narwane has been given by the president of Nepal. So you must know the names of both the people, that is president of Nepal as well as president of India. Then Kamala Harris is going to become the first woman vice president of United States. She is the first female vice president of United States. She is the first black uh, vice president of United States, first Indian American to become a vice president of United States, and first Asian vice president elect of United States. So she has got at least 4 firsts. So she has broken a lot of records when it comes to becoming the first. Then, Sports Ministry has approved 6 centers for Khelo India Center of Excellence. Now, Center of Excellence are being developed in a lot more prospects. That is, Israel is building a few with Meghalaya, with Assam, and now we have the Khelo India Center of Excellence, which is being established in 6 centers, being in Assam, Maharashtra, MP, Meghalaya, Sikkim, and Union Territory of Dadar and Nagar Haveli. These are the 6 places where the Center of Excellence is going to be established. Ro-Pax ferry service is soon to begin between Ghoga and Hazira in Gujarat. Now, the name of the vessel is Voyage Symphony. They can ask you the name of the vessel for but obvious reasons. This is particularly a question that you can expect. Apart from that, you can expect a question that is which gulf is there which is going to be connected by this. So the Gulf of Khambat, which is also known as, now this Gulf of Khambat is also known as Gulf of Cambay. If you people remember that name, then Gulf of Cambay or Gulf of Khambat, that is going to be connected via this ferry service, and the name of the vessel that is going to be deployed is Voyage Symphony, right? Next, India is going to observe National Cancer Awareness Day. It observed it on November 7. November 7 is also the birth anniversary of Marie Curie, who was the discoverer of radioactivity and also the one who died due to that. Now, cancer is the second leading cause of death as per World Health Organization, and October is celebrated as the Cancer Awareness Month. So, month is October and National Cancer Awareness Day is in November, 7th of November, and that is also the birth anniversary of Marie Curie. Indian Meteorological Department IMD has announced that it will provide malaria outbreak forecast from next season. That is, from next season, we can expect that India will also give the malaria results, or where it is going to be outbreak recently. Apart from that, they have also announced that they are going to increase the computing facility to 40 petaflops. 40 petaflops is going to be the new computing speed. So they are working towards it, that the computing speed increases now. Which is the first country which is the first country which has been chosen for the vaccine? That is Malawi. This was last year, though. Malawi, Ghana, and Kenya. These are the 3 countries which have been chosen to have the trials of the vaccine for malaria, and therefore it is important. This was last year, but now since we are talking about malaria, you should know this fact as well. Then a 500-meter tall coral reef had recently been discovered. It's an individual reef which is outside the Great Barrier Reef, or a bit detached from it, but it is important because it is taller than the Empire State Building as well. Right now, with this, most of our segment has been covered. We have covered all the important news events, and I hope the news events are clear to you and this session was helpful to you, all of you. So do like the session, comment on how you like it, and if you find any doubt regarding any news event, you can freely comment in the comment section. They're going to be answered. Thank you so much for being with us, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, goodbye, take care, and have a great day ahead.